Hi there, good evening and welcome to the GPL Build-Up Show here on TV3, the only show that gives you an insight into the Ghana Premier League. They say it's a dirty December, but we are going to enjoy some football in the Ghana Premier League because the December lineup, as far as the league is concerned, looks very, very mouth-watering, and we'll be bringing you games regularly on TV3 and on your TV. We are sitting because match day 14 is approaching and a lot to look forward to. 3 live games on TV3 and on your TV. We'll be talking about all these games plus other matches that will be played. My name is Mutala Yakubu, and as usual, I've been joined by resident analyst and a GPL statistician, Mohammed Shaban, who will be on the screen to do his thing, and also Francis Aboibo Blackgate, GPL expert. When you go to the Volta region and its enclave, he is a popular figure there because he has an affinity with all the teams that are in the Volta region, and particularly the 2 Ghana Premier League sides, that is Hoho United and Kwando Heart of Lions. And today he has also joined. And for the first time, we have a woman on the show, my very own sister, someone that I have a very close connection with. She knows the GPL very well, likes the GPL, is the GPL, sleeps the GPL. That's everything the GPL. Abigail Sena Sosu, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're looking good.
Thank you.
A pleasure to have you. But we'll delve into match day 14 and talk about all the games. But before that, let's do a recap of match day 13 and what happened. We know that Asante Kotoko lost and Hartlepool also lost. But before we do that, let's go for a quick break. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching the GPL Build-Up Show here on TV3. My name is Mutala Yakubu. It's match day 14 of the Ghana Premier League, and TV3 and Onya TV, powered by Adisa Production Limited, will be bringing you 3 live games. Our coverage will start on Friday, and I'll tell you about those games. But as I said, there are highlights from match day 13. Asante Kotoko losing at Hohoi, with the likes of 11 Wonders also losing. Let's enjoy the highlights.
Swansea seems to have left something on his marker. Here's Rudolph Mensah. He gets into the Wonders box, goes past his marker. Rudolph Mensah, can he score? And it's a brilliant finish. This is a Marcus finish. Gorgeous goal from Rudolph Mensah.
His bar also went down early after that shimmy. Unfortunate slip. The goalkeeper was just
Poku Jemfi. And Shadrach Atta has got so much space. Rudolph Mensah is on the left. He keeps his calm. Mensah, he makes it 2-0 for All Blacks. His 5th goal of the season, Rudolph Mensah.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Odro bends one, and it's a stunner. An absolute beauty. Oh my word. Hull United.
Excellent delivery. A peach of a strike from William Odro.
Again, and he's an experienced man who will always be at the center of it. Emmanuel Arnold, but look at another chance.
And there's a chance for Freeman. Hit it! Lovely skill by Brandon. Holds it. The ball over the ball. Double! Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. There's still 1-1 here. But then ball forced kindly to Bedu. Hits it hard.
Prince Bedu scoring that winner for Nations FC as they came from a goal down to beat Hearts of Lions by 2 goals to 1. Chauncey Freeman continuing his fine form. But let's move on to match day 14. That is what we're looking forward to. Lots of games to play, but 3 live games will be on TV3 and on your TV. Here are the fixtures. Hearts of Lions, they would be at home. They currently lie 3rd on the table, and they come up against Adriana. That game would be played on Friday at 3:30 and will be live on this channel as well as on your TV. Then on Saturday, Phobia, Hartlepool would return home after that defeat to Karela. They would also be taking on Nations FC at 4 p.m. and it will be live on TV as well. Then we wrap up our coverage on Sunday at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Asante Kotoko, 4 games in the Ghana Premier League, no win for them. This time they are taking on struggling Dreams FC, and that game would also come off at 4 p.m. on Sunday. Then there's also Bechem United against 11-1. The Swedro Blacks, they will be taking on Vision FC with Baseke Holy Stars coming up against Samatex. Brecum Chelsea, they would be at home as they take on Ho United, and Young Apostles would come up against Karela United, with Gold Stars engaging Midiama, but that game has been postponed as it stands. So we'll give you the latest updates on that. But let's get into the games, Abi. Gail, let's start with the Heart of Lions Adriana game. Heart of Lions started the season brilliantly, but the last 3 games has not gone well for Bashir Hayford. Can they really get the better of Adriana, who currently are one of the best sides in the Ghana Premier League?
Well, I think that if you pick points from everything that Bashir Ford has been mattering the last 3 games you're talking about, then it means that he's a very unhappy manager. And in the last game, he had to explode to even say that his so-called senior players are the ones not really dragging their feet and all of that. So it means that there's fire on the mountain. They would want to get it right at home. I remember the last 2 seasons, or the last 2 times that Adriana has been there, it's been either a win for them or the other going for Alliance as well. In 2023-2024, it was a 2-1 scoreline going in favor of Adriana Stars. Then in the 2024, Bashir Ford made sure he also gave Adriana that same scoreline again. For Adriana, they've been good travelers. They've just lost twice on the road to Samatex and Karela. So I don't think it's going to be a difficult game. Chuba Aristikado on a quiet side is doing something good with the Diana Stars. You don't really get to hear a lot about the Diana Stars this season. All you see is the results they are churning out, especially at home. And on the road, it's not been bad. It's either they pick a point or they're able to grab all those 3 points.
Tough one.
It's a difficult one, but I don't see Diana Stars losing. I'm sure the West will be a point back to Doma.
Francis, what is happening to Lions? Is it fatigue? Because they started the season with some great form.
Yeah. Mutala, if you look at Hearts of Lions, I think it's self-destructive tendencies that is disturbing them. Over complacency, the players got to understand that they've not won anything in the Ghana Premier League. You've not won the FA Cup before. You've not won the Ghana Premier League itself. So if you start the season on the bank, you've got to stay grounded, stay focused. You are not even done with the first round of the season. Like, you know, Coach Bashir gave what he said, excuse my language, quote unquote, and no nonsense gaffer. You say it as it is.
He said the players were swollen-headed when they lost to Bibiani Gold Stars.
We saw them played against Hearts of Folk, where they got that draw, 0-0 stalemate at Accra. They went to Bibiani Gold Stars, got beaten. Then they went back to Pando and they picked up. They started playing well in a very awkward game against Bechem United. We saw how Kwanzaa Buama and then Efson combined beautifully on top of the pitch to get them that positive goal to win the game. From there, they've given a decent account of themselves this season. But in the last 3 matches, they've been off color. Against Dreams, they took the lead. Sorry, against Vision in Tema, they took the lead twice. They allowed Vision into the game. They considered some awkward goals. Then they managed to draw the game. Fast forward, they played against, what's the name, Karela, in a game that everybody expected them to win. They couldn't just win the game. So I saw them at the Howard Sports Stadium, played in the FA Cup. Howard basically played them off the park. They were just lucky that Chauncey Freeman stepped up, used his individual brilliance to win the game for them 1-0. But from there, you could tell that there's a problem with Heart of Lions. Okay. And the earlier they get to understand that this is the league, they are no more playing to survive from relegation. They are playing to win. Because if you look at the Ghana Premier League squad, Shaban is here. How many number of teams can boast of a better squad in depth than Heart of Lions?
Okay.
So with all the investment that Randy Abe and Co has done into the team, it's up to the players to walk the talk and try to deliver something spectacular for the Pando folks.
Well, let me bring in Shaban. I mean, he has a numbers history. What really does history say about this fixture?
Well,
who has been in top?
Well, I've listened to Abigail and Blackgate, and of course, their points are valid. But then, on paper, Heart of Lions are yet to lose to Aduana FC at the Pando Stadium. The very first time they met when Heart of Lions returned back in the Premier League was way back in the 2023-24 season. And they lost at the Hohoe Stadium. That game was played at Hohoe. They lost by 2-1. But then at the Pando last season, Heart of Lions managed to pick a victory. And so in 4 matches since they are returning in the Premier League, Aduana have won twice. And that was in the 2023-24 season where Lions were not an experienced side. They beat them home and away. Last season, 1 draw, 1 win for Heart of Lions. So of course, Lions at the Pando Stadium are a good side. But then we've seen Aduana FC visit the Volta region, beat Hohoe United. We've seen Aduana FC visit the Volta region 2 seasons ago and then recorded a victory against Heart of Lions. But let's not forget that anytime Aduana FC plays against a side they beat who are back in the Premier League or newly promoted side, the next fixture becomes difficult for them, and that is where I fear for Aduana FC. Yes, if you pick the 2 sides, if you are talking about Heart of Lions, you can talk about Michael Efson going to be part of the attack, Chelsea Freeman, and then Paul Ateje are going to be the attackers. Then you can talk about Yimano Mafo, Mizak Efriye, all being available for the game, and the young chap Henson and Ponsan. So a 2 most consistent side. But Lions in their last 2 games have shown us that they can score, but then cannot keep a clean sheet, and that is where it brings a lot of problems. Karela picking the points there is a psychological booster for Aduana, and clearly it's a game that Aduana would go with all confidence of picking a point.
Of course, and that game will be live on TV3 and on your TV at 3:30 on Friday. We'll be bringing you that one. Let's move on to Hartlepool. A lot has been said about them throughout the week. They've been in the news, literally been in the news. All the talks has been about Hartlepool and Hamza Issa wanting to terminate his contract. Hartlepool, let me start with you, Abi. You follow them closely. What is really happening to Hartlepool? Is it that they didn't recruit well because you have a solid defense? Yeah. They are one of the least conceded, one of the teams to have conceded least goals in the league. Solid midfield, but the attack looks very blunt. And it looks like it's a problem that is never going away.
I will not sit here and say Hartlepool did bad recruitment. I think that if anything has happened to Hartlepool in the last 3-4 seasons, maybe this recruitment looks good or looked good, given the preseason that they had. A lot of us thought that, okay, if this is what it's really looking like in the top 4, then clearly... Yeah,
I saw them in the top 4, and it looked like Hartlepool were going to blow everyone away.
Okay, then this is the new thing Didi Dramani is bringing on board. But after that match day 1 game against Oho United, I was like, no, it looks like Hartlepool had just gone back to default. And it was just the preseason that they gave us those jitters and those jolly to be able to clamor after them. And the other thing for Hartlepool that they have shown is that they love to play at the Legon Stadium. And when they started
What is at the Accra Sports Stadium?
Well...
On alcohol, what is there? Like, what is there? Because that has been the ancestral home since time immemorial. So, what is there that this Hartlepool cannot play there?
It looks like they seem to be under a lot of pressure when they play at the Accra Sports Stadium. And I don't get it. Because in recent times, the stadium doesn't even get filled to have the capacity. So I don't know what gets to them. For a moment, I thought it was psychological. The minute they turned up at the University of Ghana Stadium and played Vision in the manner they did, giving her Vision also showed up. You realize that Kwajima was angry after the game because he saw that the way he played,
he should have gotten more from that one.
They merited that victory, but Hartlepool looked freed, looked like something had been lifted off them when they got to Lagos. And I believe, and I told myself that this is just psychological. I don't know what the problem is, because if you ask, after the FA Cup, one of the brightest spots from Golden Cake joined Hartlepool in a very good friend.
They also had Ali Mohammed, who for me has been solid.
For us, we thought that Karim was in and Hartlepool midfield was set. Everything was going on. We thought it would be a season where maybe Martin Kakari will wake up, but for some of us, we are just too disappointed. It's becoming season after season. We think that things should work, but then he just flatters to this season. Hamza Issa comes into this season again. We are doing, those near misses again. I don't know, but away from the pitch, the stories you are hearing too doesn't sound pleasant, you know.
Do you think it has a way of getting to the players as well? It
does. Hitherto, there's a Hartlepool team that ahead of every other game, you see at least the board member, leadership of the fans, going to speak to them, going to seek their welfare and all of that. Madame Vicentia and her ladies trying to get them in good shape, water, look at kind of things. But now it looks like, okay, everybody has left Didi Dramani. Okay, do it and let's see. That is how it is feeling like, unfortunately. And he can't show that some of the things, but some of the things go beyond the pitch. Administratively, I feel there could be something wrong, because if whatever we are hearing is true, then 3 months, come on.
Well, Francis, before I go to Shaban for the numbers, I know that last season, Nations beat them by a goal to 0. Tuba, Razak Simpson scored the beautiful goal. But it looks like the issue of not being able to score has become an albatross around the neck of Hartlepool, and they are unable to get it off.
That's their biggest problem in the past 3 seasons. Ever since Efrie Barnier left the club, Hartlepool have been struggling.
But Efrie Barnier himself scored just 8 goals.
But he gave them goals that won them the league.
Okay. Maybe you can say important goals. Like the one against Kotoko, for instance.
At Accra Sports Stadium. You have Emmanuel Nete and Co, Efutu and Co pop up and get you goals. So the goals were spread across the entire midfield and then the team up front. But if you look at the current Hartlepool team, their biggest problem is to have an identity or a striker that will be leader and clinical in front of goal to put away the premium chances that they carve out in the games. The Ghana Premier League is a brutal league. The moment you carve out chances are few in the league. The moment you get those premium chances in games and you are not able to maximize them, to put them away, it will come back to haunt you. And we've seen Hartlepool this season, they lost some games out of what? They not being able to kill games off themselves. See, for Hearts of Oak at Accra Sports Stadium, I've always said this, that since the May 9 disaster, Hearts of Oak is like something happened to the soul of the club whenever they are playing at Accra Sports Stadium. They will go away, play very well, get decent results. They are coming back home. The fans will be like, this is it. We have to build some momentum. They get to the Accra Sports Stadium and everything becomes so awkward for them, they can't even cope with it. You look at a striker like Hamza Issa. If you are a striker and a top marksman, you are playing for Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. If you play your first season, okay, you are studying the terrain. The second season, you have to be coming into yourself and show everybody the stuff you are made of. In the third season, you've got to blow the league apart. We've seen Ishmaelado, we've seen Prince Tego, we've seen Mahatma Otu. All of them went through that progression. But with Hamza Issa, they've stuck. The stuntedness. The club is not progressing under his leadership as a top marksman. Hearts of Oak got to look somewhere else. It is clear he is not the one to lead the club forward. Well, when Kumasi Asante Kotoko wanted something spectacular, they brought Mbela, a Tuga, and you helped them to win the league.
Hearts of Oak have brought,
and then last season, when they were stuck,
international players, and it's not work for them.
That is all about the recruitment. It's high time that they've got to look at the recruitment policy of the club. Well, like Abigail summed up, defensively, solid. They've considered one of the fewest number of goals in the Ghana Premier League this season. In midfield, whenever Abdul Karim is not playing, the team looks unbalanced. And my problem with coach Didi Dramani is the fact that whenever Hearts of Oak deploys the 3-back system, in a 3-5-2 system, they manage to boss the games, have the game under control, and create enough decent chances to score. But he always loves to go back to the back four where Ransford Mensah and Befi plays the laterals with Ali Mohammed and then Osea Sibe. Shaban will tell you some of the partnerships that he doesn't work, but I don't want to talk about it. But for him, the earlier he realizes that the 3-back system is his best, because sometimes you got to play to the strength of the materials available.
I'll come back to you, but let's go.
Maybe Shaban can tell us more about Frank Abraduko.
Yeah, that is where I'm going with this. I'm not.
Because
okay, first of all, take us through the history for the last 4 seasons or the last 3 seasons. Let's see how things have gone between the pair.
All right, so Mutala, these are the facts. These are all the games played between Nations FC and Hearts of Oak. Nations made their debut in the 2023-24 season. So on paper, this is the very first time Hearts of Oak are hosting the first leg against Nations FC. But this is the 2 away games played against Hearts of Oak. 1-2-0, this was played at Accra Sports Stadium in the 2023-24 season. In the 2024-25 season, 1-0 for Nations FC. Razak Simpson's only goal at Kaswa Tuba Astritef. Now, this is the records for them. And the last time Nations lost to Hearts of Oak at the Accra Sports Stadium was when they had worst seasons away. And that year, Nations won 4 away matches and scored 4 away goals in the entire season. Now, this season, Nations FC were battling for the league title, and they won 8 of their away games, and with the side that had most away wins. And so I'm not surprised that they had that records against Hearts of Oak. Now, if you pick Nations FC this season, in all the away matches they've played, in 6 matches, a possible 18 points, Nations have picked just 1 of the 18 points. It means that they've lost 5 of the matches and picking just 1 draw. And that was the draw against Biche United at the Nana Fusu Giabo Park. And so it's difficult for them. Now, if you pick Hearts of Oak at home, they won one of the games at the University of Ghana. That was the first game after moving away from the Accra Sports Stadium. They won against Vision FC, who are also stragglers away. And so usually, if Hearts of Oak are playing stragglers away, they get the opportunity to win the game. But let's look at the tactical display of both sides. And I know Blackgate will be more interested with this conversation, but it looks more interesting. And this is what I want us to base our argument on. Blackgate was talking about Hearts of Oak deploying the 3-back system, but the last time they deployed that strategy was against Asante Kotoko. They lost that fixture, and in a game that they had to struggle to even create chances in the game. But this is Nations FC. Faisal Chawete is back in the squad as well, and he is expected to give them more of the runs from the flanks. And then Brandon Intrisapon is also one player who has been given the opportunity at Nations FC under coach Frimpong Manson. Don't forget that Frimpong Manson has gotten the strength over Heart of Oak at the University of Ghana Stadium. Last season, he beat them, and then before he joined Nations FC, he's beaten Heart of Oak twice away, and so he has the advantage. Ano is a creative player. He has 6 goals to his credit, and he's a player to watch out for in the game. Maybe the biggest strength of Nations FC, apart from the 3 strikers, would be Prince Bedu. Very, very strong, and make sure that it becomes difficult for opponents. And then Isaac Botry. Unfortunately, we cannot talk about them much because when they go away, they fumble. Now, for Heart of Oak, the biggest threat is Mauli Wayo. But then again, Mauli Wayo from the flanks is not the biggest threat. But unless Heart of Oak have gotten that set piece, corner kicks, free kicks, that is where he becomes a very strong player. In all the games he's played for Heart of Oak, in all the goals he scored from a set piece, a corner kick against Brecum Chelsea, and also their last home game against Vision FC. So though he plays as a winger, he's more creative around the 18-yard box. Then Hussein, who is their midfielder, we talk about him a lot, but of course, Heart of Oak are not creating a lot of chances, and that is a big problem for the side. They have some good midfielders like Abdul Karim, Blackgate spoke about him, Parku George, and then Rafael Amponsan, who is returning back in the squad. But then Hussein's ball distribution becomes very challenging, and there it becomes difficult for the team to create more chances. We saw that against Karela United, against Vision FC. Heart of Oak really struggles to create chances. They score only from the set piece.
Okay, so difficult one for Heart of Oak. They are coming up against Nations. It will be live on TV3 and Onuya TV at 4 p.m. on Saturday. But arguably the match of the week, Asante Kotoko are currently struggling. They have gone 4 games in the Ghana Premier League without a win, even though they've won their FA Cup tie and have progressed to the next stage. For Dreams FC, they are also hovering around the relegation zone. And for some obvious reasons, I'll start with Abigail, because you worked closely with Dreams FC. Abdul Karim Zitoko and Mobre, what is really the problem of Dreams FC? Is it that Wilfred Dormont is not really up to the task yet, or Dreams FC have lost some very important players and is beginning to affect them?
No, I may stand by as if I want to lay or the blame or the woes of Dreams FC on the doorsteps of Wilfred Dormont. I think that if anything, he's tried so hard to hold things together. It was not just Zito that left. Quality left to Dreams Football Club. Come on, if you have a goalkeeper like Agbasi who got injured and eventually left, there's no John Entry, there's no Abdul Aziz, there's no Johnson, there's no Jalilu. Jalilu left to Rwanda. You know, all of these, I watched the last clip of Kotoko Dreams before coming. I was like, God, what happened? There was a free kick Abdulaziz scored against
Agbabayara. I think it was Dan Lad who was imposed. Dan Lad was
imposed. It was something that came easy to Jalilu, John, and Aziz, because that quality, that understanding was there. And sometimes it's painful to watch a game involving Dreams FC because, of course, like you mentioned, you have that attachment and all of that. But if there's one person I'm really happy for in that Dream setup, Obi Suraj. I thought that for a moment, he almost lost it with Heart of Oak. But if you go into that environment and you have managers who are ready to allow you to explore, he's done that and he's winning it. It's going to be an interesting fixture between a father and a son, because I can boldly say that everything Dormont knows is what Zito has left behind. And it's a script that he's working by.
They both know each other very well.
And it might get a little emotional.
That is the reason why you can't actually miss this game, the father and son affair. But she has talked about Dreams FC. Let's talk about Asante Kotoko. 4 games without a victory in the Ghana Premier League, though they've won their FA Cup game. That is not really the main issue. Karim Zito knows that pressure has started building. He's coming up against a team that is also struggling, and that can be very dangerous.
Well, if you look at Kumasi Asante Kotoko and you analyze them, to be fair with them, Kotoko is a big team, but you look at their regulars, most of them are currently injured, and some of them are gradually returning back to training. But that is not an excuse. Zito recruited in the off-season enough to be able to prepare for all these uncertainties around the team.
But if you can hold brief for him, there are several injuries within the squad.
Yeah, but still, the job must be done. You've got to play the number of matches, 30+ matches in the league. To be able to win the league, you've got to stay consistent. And if you look at them, last weekend we saw them against Hawkway United. Kotoko are not playing consistent football over the course of 90 minutes. They want to play in the phases of the game. But sometimes when you choose to play in the phases of the game, the opponent might not give you the opportunity to exploit their weaknesses. They will take their chances. Kotoko, if we watch them at the Hallway Park, they've not carried enough threat. The game was there, begging for somebody to take the
Honestly,
game.
when Hoho United took the lead, and I was watching that game, it looks like Kotoko were never going to score, even if we played the game for the entire continuous 3 days. Because they were not issuing any threats.
The game was up there for the taking, begging for somebody to take the game by the scruff of the neck, be the template on which Kotoko will play, and explore. But you look at them, it was rather the makeshift wing-back, Hamzata, who was trying to make incursions into the attacking channel and was trying to whip in pinpoint balls for the striker. Morifin Donzo, the striker that they've invested so much into, when you watch him, you can't really tell his strength. You know, some strikers are there that they will have to hold the ball, link up people. Some are there that they will just be clinical in front of you. They just require the right services to their feet, and they'll finish them off. In the air, on the ground, he's all over the place. He looks out of sorts. And if you look at the premium chances that mostly have been created for him, he doesn't put them away. And you look at Kotoko and ask yourself, where do they go from here? 4 matches without a win, there's problem. Fire is burning through the camp. And they also have their own self-distraction. That players are doing things off the pitch that they need to. So it's a problem. But Zito got to sort this out because Kotoko can be very ruthless in terms of discarding whoever you are as their manager. And you will pick a clue from it. He has been there before, he has been fired before, and he knows exactly what is at stake. What we saw at the Hallway Sports Stadium, Mutala, they've got to change something around themselves to be able to beat Dreams FC. Dreams FC might look like they are all over the place, but we've seen them make life awkward for some of the big clubs in the country. Last season, when Heart of Lions were flying, Dreams FC went to the Kpando Park and beat Heart of Lions by 2-1. We saw them hold Heart of Folk on countless occasions, frustrated the phobia, and they can equally do that to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. If Kotoko fails to win this game, there'll be much more problem for Karim
Pressure
Zito.
on Karim Zito. Shaban, not really a good time to be an Asante Kotoko coach. 4 games in the league without a win, but he apologized after that Hoho United game. This time, they are coming up against the struggling Dreams FC. What do the history say about this particular fixture?
Well, so the metrics really favors Asante Kotoko, but we are going to delve deep into this. Dreams FC this season, 6 away matches, 1 point out of a possible 18. That's a bad record going to face Asante Kotoko. And these are teams Kotoko discard with ease. They win those fixtures with ease. Now, Kotoko at home in their last 17 home matches are unbeaten, 14 wins, 4 draws. So Kotoko at home have been a very good side going into the fixture. Now, let's add the number of games played between Dreams FC and Asante Kotoko. And Mutala, there's some interesting fact I want you to look at.
Okay.
First, the winner of the first leg do not win or do not lose the second leg. You win the first leg, you win the second leg, or you draw the second leg. So we go back to 2020-21. Kotoko beat Dreams FC 1-0. They won the second leg. The following season, Kotoko beat Dreams FC 3-1. They won the second leg. The next season, Dreams FC won the first leg. That was in 2022-23. And then the second leg, it ended in a draw. Then Dreams FC won the first leg in the 2023-24. They won the second leg as well. Then Kotoko last season won the first leg, won the second leg. So per the data we have here, the winner of the first leg is an automatic winner of the second leg, and that is a crucial decision to be made. But we saw Kotoko dominate one season, 2020-21, and dominated 2021-22. That was in 2 seasons. Kotoko dominated Dreams FC. Then Dreams FC also dominated Kotoko twice in the season. That was in 2022-23 and then 2023-24. Kotoko have taken over the first domination, and they still have another year for the season. So it will be very difficult for Dreams FC, honestly, per the data we have here, an advantage for Dreams FC. But Abigail Sinas also spoke about the current Dreams FC setup, but I feel the club...
She was talking about how Suraj has been very instrumental in the team.
Yes, and Suraj has been given the opportunity to explore, build up, and then make sure that he becomes a better striker. And he, pairing with Abdulrazak Salifu, has really helped the side so well. And that is why all the time we have them making impact. So Suraj has become a player to watch out for. He has become a star player for the Dreams FC setup. He has 4 goals. Abdulrazak Salifu is also not doing bad at all, but he is not scoring a lot of goals for the side. Now, one of the goalkeepers that we always talk about, they have a young goalkeeper, Osman, and likely he's going to start ahead of Gideon Sisiakon. But for Asante Kotoko, Blackgate spoke about Morifin Donsu. He's not giving Kotoko enough goals. He's not performing because maybe if you want to compare him with the previous strikers, foreign-based strikers, then it means that he's underperforming. But of course, he adds up something whenever they are playing at the Babara Sports Stadium. Again, apart from him, you can talk about Peter Amiduakwa, who scored for Kotoko in the FA Cup. Then Hubert Jehu also scored in the FA Cup. We have Baba Yaya, who has broke through the team's starting 11. And then Lord Hilary Adambo as a defensive midfielder going into the game. But Dreams FC will go with a 3-back, Kofi Junior Kuma, Yaro Isaac, and then Christian Owusu. These are the 3-back for Dreams FC. But I want to see how Kotoko are going to explore because Ebenezer Adade is a winger and a right back, but will be playing from the wings. And then Shaban Mohammed would also be playing from the
Your
flanks.
namesake?
Yes, in the last 3 games, Shaban has been very consistent for Dreams FC.
He'll be consistent.
And
Why
not?
He'll be consistent.
So I just want to see how he's going to play because the last 3 games, Shaban has proven to be one of the best.
Asante Kotoko Dreams FC on Sunday, big one, live on TV3 and on your TV. Let's now brush through the other games. And let me start with you, Blackgate. 11 Wonders became United. 11 Wonders, after that important win over Dreams FC, we all thought that, it was a catalyst for them to go on. Then they go back to the 4 sets and Swedro beating them. This time they are playing Bechem away from home. Can they survive?
Well, it will be difficult for them. Make no mistake, the 2 teams are struggling currently. Bechem United, the Nafosi Jabor Park used to be a fortress. And then it's like if you go there, you play above yourself, you got away with a draw. But this season, they've taken away that kind of fear factor from the venue.
Okay.
Their last home game, Howard United beat them by 2-1 there. So it will give 11 Wonders the feeling that if they can play above themselves, they can get the point. Ever since Coach Emisa took over, I think he has won only 1 game and drawn 2 and lost 2. So it's difficult for them to bounce back like the way they wanted. It will take them time for him to implement his ideas on the team. But I think it's a game that the home team will stand a bigger chance of winning based on the fact that the 2 teams are struggling. Abigail,
All Blacks, I saw you the last time at the Swedro Sports Stadium. There's always a feel-good factor about the stadium. They've won some very crucial games. Ever since the women said they were going to do that naked demonstration, which didn't happen, which saddens my heart. But All Blacks are coming up. It saddens my heart because we wanted to see if it will really happen. It didn't happen. Pressure has lessened on Fati. They are coming up against Vision FC, Swedro Sports Stadium.
But I think that it will be a good game. Quite painful it wouldn't be on television because if you look at how these 2 sides play, you have that youthful exuberance. There's a lot of action when these 2 sides play, and I'm just imagining how it will be. I feel that Ahmed Fati is also having a little bit of hard works problem. Getting all the points away from home, but when they get there, that pressure is huge. You see, that distance between the fans and where he is. I remember one time he even had to stop concentrating on the game and respond to fans. So he knows what it means and how much they want those results. But I think that Vision FC shouldn't pose a lot of problems. And it's rather unfortunate Rudolph will not be around. The Aziz will also not be around. So these are very instrumental players for Swedro Blacks going into any game. And I would want to see how they will survive without them. And like they have always showed, it looks like their best at home is nothing less than a point.
Shaban, I met the president of Basake Holy Stars a few minutes ago, Simone Ehoma, and he told me categorically that they will not be relegated because they are up for this one. Coming up against a Christopher N in Samatex.
Well, there's no better motivation than beating Kotoko, and I know he's happy about that. But they are picking up their pieces at home. If you really want to avoid relegation, these are fixtures you have to win. Hearts Kotoko will give you different vibe, but Mediema, Gold Stars as well are difficult. But if you meet Samatex, yes, they are a good side, but these are matches you have to brush through, get the 3 points, and then move on. And I don't see how Samatex are going to stop Basake Holy Stars. So unfortunately, one of their results against Vision at home, it ended 2-2. But the positives are around Basake is that they are scoring now. Prince Trinidad is getting them their goals, and that alone means that going to the fixture, they can get 1 or 2 goals. Samatek would have to score 2 to draw the fixture because Baseke is a good side currently.
Like there's no confident booster in the world that is bigger than beating Asante Kotoko and going into your next game against Brecum Chelsea, who are not doing so well.
Yeah.
Ho United, Brecum Chelsea, Golden City Park.
Owa United bounced back to winning ways in their last 2 games, beating Bechim United and then beating Kumasi Asante Kotoko. They'll be raring to go against the struggling Brecum Chelsea team. They themselves, they are out of sort. They don't really know what they are doing. They are languishing at the bottom of the league table in the last 3 relegation places. So for Owa United, with their captain Usman Safian, who is playing one of the brilliant players in the
He's one of the best midfielders currently in the Ghana Premier League.
If you watch him,
together with Hube Jehu.
If you watch him, he has the aura, he has that big match temperament, he can play, he can bulldoze anyone. And with Senna Ati, together with the other guy playing like the way they are playing, they'll be daring. They'll dream like they can get the points. Because in the Ghana Premier League these days, the referees have upped their games, unlike in the past where away teams can't win anymore. So I think they'll have a realistic chance of winning this game if they can continue from where they let off against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. It will be tough. It will not be easy. Samuel Bwedu and his team knows very well that they've got to bounce back to winning ways. Because this is not the Chelsea we used to know. At the Golden City Park, it used to be a difficult ground for away teams.
Yeah.
But this season, the moment they lost to Kumasi Asante Kotoko, then it's like that clout has been taken away from them. Teams do go there to get decent results against them. And Owa United, with Coach Bashir, they will be raring to go to get the points there.
Abigail, one of the teams that was earmarked for relegation when the season started was Young Apostles. Yeah. But it's been a different story. Young Apostles at home seem very, very good. But they are coming up against a Karela side that just defeated Hearts of Oak.
I think that Karela United has also demonstrated that on the road, they would fight to the very end. They've picked some salient points. I mean, like you said, back in which Young Apostles are also beginning to pick up their pieces, just as Baseke are also doing. So it's going to be a very difficult game for Nuruddin Amadou and his Karela United. But coming off of another good game at home. At home, they have nothing to worry about. But I'm just looking at how they'll be able to continue and translate that performance away from the Ali Mama Sports Stadium. I'm looking at a game where Young Apostles will also want to stand tall, get all the 3 points. With the way the league table is looking now, the best option is just try your very best, get all points at home. If you drop a point or even all the 3 points at home, it will look very difficult for you.
We'll take our time and go through the table. But Young Apostles, Shaban, Karela, coming off the back of a victory against Hearts of Oak, Nuruddin Amadou. You say they recruited well. Yes. I didn't know until I saw them against Kotoko. Then I saw, I mean, they have some very good players. Yes. The likes of Oseusu are all with Karela.
Yes, 2 matches, 4 points, not bad. Picking a point against Hearts of Lions away, beating Hearts of Oak at home. And prior to that game, Hearts were unbeaten in 9 consecutive away games. So that's positive. But Young Apostles at Wenchi, a side that looks really difficult. They just look like Karela playing at home. They are a very difficult side. You underrate them. You feel that, no, they are young guys, but they are matured now in their second season in the Premier League. I don't see how Karela would pick all points. Maybe Nuruddin can manage 1 point against Young Apostles, but for the 3 points, it will be very tight for them.
Well, that game between Gold Stars and Mediama has been rescheduled to the 31st of December because Mediama have actually notified the FA that they have about 4 players in the ranks who are part of the Black Galaxy squad, so they cannot honor that fixture. But we take a quick break here on the GPL Build-Up Show. When we return, my favorite part of the show, where these guys will do the prediction, and we'll also look at the Premier League table before we sign out. It's the GPL build-up show here on TV3, and we've had an extensive discussion on Monday 14 and what the team could produce. But let's quickly take a look at the table. Shaban, if we can have that briefly, and where every team is lying on the table as we enter match day 14. It's going to be a difficult one. Most of these teams need the points badly to move out of where they are. Currently, it's Mediema who are leading the pack with 26 points. Adriana are second. They will be playing on Friday against third place, Heart of Lions, and they are just 1 point better than the Lions. Gold Stars lie fourth. They will not be in action. Asante Kotoko, they would come up against Dreams. They have 21 points in our face. Samatex are sixth with 21 points. Heart of Folk also have the same points as Kotoko, but they lie seventh, with Karela lying eighth with 20 points. Ho United, just one win against Kotoko, and they are ninth with 17 points. Young Apostles didn't start the season too well, but currently 10th with 17 points. Nations FC have dropped to 11. They will be playing Heart of Folk on Saturday. That game will be live on TV3 and on your TV. 16 points, Swedru All Blacks, they are 12 with 15 points. Vision also have 15 points and are 13th with Dreams. Also, currently on 14th with 14 points. Baseke Holy Stars are 15th with 13 points. And the last three teams on the Ghana Premier League table are Brekum Chelsea, who are 16th with 12 points. Bechem United are 17th with 10 points. And 11 Wonders, after that win, they are 18th with 6 points. They've used three different managers in the season. But let's go through the fixtures once more and do the prediction, because there are some very, very interesting games coming up. As you know, Heart of Lions, they will be playing Adriana on Friday at 3:30 p.m. Most people are saying that this is the game of the week, big one. So I'll start with you, Francis. Heart of Lions, Adriana, who wins this game?
Hearts of Lions should be winning this game based on what they've done at the Kpando Park. It's tough for teams to beat them. You look at the entire of last season, they lost only one game to Dreams FC, so I expect them to win this game.
Shaban, there's Heart of Folk Nations FC. No, Abigail, Heart of Folk Nations FC.
Wait, no, Shaban.
No, Abigail, Heart of Folk Nations FC. Who wins the game?
At the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, everything is possible. It's a Heart of Folk win.
Asante Kotoko Dreams FC, Shaban.
A win for Asante Kotoko.
Then there's Bechem United, 11 Wonders Blackgate.
Bechem United to win this one.
I mean, I think the girls are listening to me. Swedru All Blacks Vision, Abigail.
Draw.
Draw. Shaban, Baseke Holy Stars, Samatex.
Baseke Holy Stars to win.
This is obvious. I know the answer Blackgate will give, but let me ask. Brekum Chelsea, Ho United.
Why would this fall on me?
Well,
away we not draw
for
Ho United.
Shaban, Young Apostles, Karela United.
Young Apostles win by a possible draw as well.
Okay, so big one. Before we sign out, let's talk briefly, Abigail, about Heart of Folk and their goalkeeping situation. Two brilliant goalkeepers, Benjamin Asare, Solomon Agbasi. Is it a good omen for the club, or is it more headache for Masoud Didi Dramani?
It's both. For me, I feel that if you are a team that you want to thrive, look back at your bench and be able to raise an equally good team or even a better team than the ones that are on the pitch. And if we have Benjamin Asare away on national team duties and Solomon Agbasi holding the fort like he has done. But for that Karela game, the whole conversation in this country was literally sparking that fire for Solomon Agbasi again after his African exploit to doing Sober Club. So for me, it is a good thing. And as much as I said, there are two sides to everything. If not managed well, it can become a bad thing. It is a headache every time for Didi Dramani. I remember when Agbasi kept his first game against Swedru Black, he told us that for him, it was even difficult to choose between him and the third goalkeeper because the quality is there. He's been given to use it, but sometimes it becomes difficult for him to choose. So I think they just need to manage it well.
Quick one, Shaban. You've seen the Black Galaxy squad. I mean, against Bafana. Do you think the Galaxies can impress? We are not saying they should win.
Yeah,
Do you think they can impress?
Well, Bafana preparing for the AFCON, and the Black Galaxies and the opportunity to play well, showcase the Ghana Premier League. For me, I just want to see how the Ghana Premier League will go in South Africa. And I believe that we've got the best of material for the game. We have a lot of the talent. I've listened to a lot of people make arguments about the coach not calling this player or that. But look, if we are to even pick Ho United as a team for the game, we will still have people to complain. So we just have to manage these players. We have Razak Simpson there, Lawrence Osei, Felix Che, we've always spoken about these players. Let's just motivate them, encourage them to go all out. But I believe that we'll pull a surprise on
Of
TV.
course, if I decide to bring Blackgate into this conversation, we are not going to end the show. It will escalate. So this is where we call it a wrap here on the GPL Build-Up Show. Thanks to my guest, resident analyst Mohamed Shaban, always being here and sharing his knowledge with us. And also Blackgate's GPL experts within the Volta region. If you ask of Blackgate, he's a very big man there. And Abigail Senasosu, my sister who loves the game, eats the game, sleeps the game, and talks the game. My name is Mutala Yakubu. Catch us on the road for match day 14. 3 live games on TV3 and on your TV. We're starting on a Friday, as you know. Big one, Heart of Lions coming up against Adriana, 3:30 on your screens. Then on Saturday, Heart of Oak will take on Nations FC at 4 p.m. It will be live as well. Then we wrap up our coverage at the Barbera Sports Stadium. Asante Kotoko struggling coming up against Dreams FC. Do watch the games. And those of you who can watch live on TV, log on to adisaplus.com and catch the stream there. Have a good evening, and may the good Lord be with you.